Okay. Namaste, everyone, and welcome to everyone in a Nitya Mandal Mahabhyara. We just so happy to host this event, which is very rare and a good opportunity for us to host the Bura Budhi janko. And this is like the imaging rituals in Nepal, which has been centuries been passing on to generation to generation. And we're so happy, Hom Shrestha from Canada, and he is going to present about how important this traditions and also the what is the importance of the health issues will be cured with the health issues. So Home Sisters, I get to know him last year. He was here in this processions, and he saw our pictures in somehow on the web page, and he was very fascinated. So he wanted to visit to the Nitya Mahabhyara. That has happened in the last year, and we hosted him, and he was the amazing, preserving the cultures and the art of Nepal. So we're so happy for the Hom Shrestha to present this unique Bura Budhi janko, Bura Budhi janko's talk and importance of the Bura Budhi janko. And I want to ask for the Kon to introduce about the Kon is the one of the board of directors of the Nitya Mandal Mahabhyara. I want to Kon to introduce a little bit about the Hom Shrestha. So I'll pass on to the Kon.
Hello. Hom Shrestha is a mature graduate student at Laurentian University in Canada who is pursuing a PhD on Buro Janko culture heritage. He graduated with an honors BA in specialization gerontology and a minor in medical anthropology with a thesis entitled Buro Janko, an autoethnography of an ancient ritual celebration honoring older adults in Newar culture in Nepal and in the United States. This thesis enabled him to introduce and shed light on the Buro Janko in the global academic arena. This included research paper presentations at Oxford Brookes International Conference on Anthropology, Gerontology, and Life course held in June in Oxford, England in 2017, and the Mind and Life 2020 Contemplative Research Conference last November in the USA. He advocates the adoption of Buro Janko type celebrations into long-term care facilities, hospitals, families, and communities. He feels it would augment compassionate care and increase the holistic aspects of physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and intellectual wellness to reduce loneliness and social isolation. As a result, the US-based Mather Institute recognized his work and granted honorable mention to the Buro Janko tradition with a Promising Practices Award in 2020. Hom was a compassionate volunteer companion and caregiver for the residents and seniors with dementia in Baycrest Hospital and Bindale Acres from 2014 to 2016. He attended the world's first renowned dementia village in Amsterdam and in Stockholm, Sweden in October of 2016. He is an active member of the Alzheimer's Association International Society to advance Alzheimer's research and treatment, the American Society on Aging, the National Alzheimer's Project Act, the Advisory Council on Alzheimer's Research, Care, and Services, and the Gerontological Association of America. He is also an advisor for the Health Science North Patient and Family Advisory Council. Now, to share with you his research and thoughts on Buro Budhi janko, I give you Hom Shrestha.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Namaste, Jajalopa, Happy New Year. I'm blessed and honored to be here for my presentation. Please accept my humble Sat Pranam and gratitude for all viewers around the globe. My Guru Deva, Prajwal Vajracharya, please accept my humble gratitude for your kind, heartfelt welcome. And also Madame Kunu for lucid introduction about me. I'm so grateful. I'm so pleased. Please allow me to chant the Vedic mantra Ashato ma shadgamaya tamasho ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Divine, lead us from untruth to truth. Lead us from darkness unto light, and lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Tada yatha gate gate paragate parasamagate bodhi swaha. Here it is gone, gone. Other side, gone. Beyond, completely gone. Awakened, so be it. Let me pray for eternal peace for 109 years old Mayeju Maharajan, 93-year-old Dr. Carlton Kuhn, former US ambassador to Nepal, who celebrated first, second, and third Burajanko in US hometown, and 79-year-old Mark Thomas in Portland, as they left this beautiful planet with the joyful divine status and experience of the ageless celebration of Burajanko. I have no words to express my gratitude for all the families who celebrate Burajanko, for parents and grandparents and their priest and social media. I am pleased to offer my deep gratitude for the milestone pioneer work and Burajanko to Dr. Ellen Kuhn, Dr. Alexander von Rospat, and Prajula Bajracharya. I believe one day historians will write about their feats in the history of Burajanko. It is a great fortune for me to burn on this beautiful planet and my motherland, genesis of Newar civilization. I greatly acknowledged Sudbury, Canada, where I am living and studying at the sacred land of Robinson Huron Treaty Territory and on the traditional territory of the Atikamekw Anishinaabe in northern Ontario. Kudo goes to Nritya Mandala Mahabihar and the Portland Newar community. I believe Newar religion and culture are the knowledge-based civilization of compassion, devotion, and worship for God, goddesses, nature, humanism, especially for older peoples. The celebration of Burajanko will reestablish the glories of our unique Newar culture as the heart of tangible cultural heritage. Learning topics include Burajanko on the global map, historical culture background, example of transcendental Burajanko, research publication, advocacy awareness, Burajanko image and video clips, adapting Burajanko to celebrate aging of residents, revisioning Burajanko as aging wellness everywhere, and conclusion. Tourists and foreigners So observers say Bura Janko parade with palanquin and chariot surroundings in temple and shrines. To get old in Nepal are to become a god. In the worldview, aging wellness is an emerging global health issue in terms of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. It cannot be underestimated. Compassionate and cultural care as an integral part of the global health phenomena. According to the American Society on Aging 2020, every 8 seconds, someone turns 65 in America struggles with how best to respond to the need for greater inclusivity, anti-ageism, and equity that need to advocate for policies needed for 2030, while 1 in 5 Americans will be older than 65. Dr. Elizabeth Zelensky, professor at the University of Southern California, accepts the concept of Bura Janko culture, that potential to reduce ageism in Western cultures. Bura Janko empowers everyone striving to improve aging health and aging society. The Bura Janko is a symbol of divinity and dignity. Bura Janko, we believe that Bura Janko is a prehistoric or Vedic culture celebration, which is an almost 5,000 years old ancient tradition. According to the Garga Samhita of Vedic scripture, Hindu Lord Krishna initiated this practice for his father Vasudeva's age 88 years, 8 months and 8 days birthday anniversary. It is an ancient cultural practice of South Asia, preserved only in the Newar culture in the ancient Nepal Mandalam. Additionally, Bura Janko is a ritual practice of spirituality and culturally based Hindu and Buddhist worship as part of a cultural commitment to care for older people as the level of the divine status. Bura Janko demonstrates paramount respect with compassion and dignity to change the perception of old age to golden age and the intersection of religion, philosophy, science, and spirituality directed towards well-being, wellness, and active wisdom for older people. During these ceremonies, grandparents are worshipped as living gods, and families and communities bond over the wisdom of aging, especially when grandparents symbolically feed each family member. Chariots with grandparents pulled by grandchildren in homes, temples, and shrines elevate family and community morale and dignity, reinforce constructive leisure, and exhibit how compassionate care and love for older people prove the quality of their lives and communities. Dr. J. Sokolowski, editor of the 2020 book, The Cultural Context of Aging Worldwide Perspectives, 4th edition, commends the Bura Janko as one of the life course and intergenerational ties in a cultural and global context. The 5 times and types of Bura Janko. The first Bura Janko is Vimaratharam, Second Bura janko is Sahasra Chandra Darshana. Third Bura janko is Devaratharona. Fourth Bura janko is Mahadevaratharona. And fifth and last Bura janko is Mahadibyaratharona. The meaning of Bura janko in the Newar and other cultures in Asia. Bura or Buddha literally means older peoples or adults. Janko or Janko or Jatha Janko or Janku means a ritual celebration in honoring old age as a divine status. There is unique gender equity. The age of the husbands is equally counted for the wife's age for the Bura Janko celebration. It harmonized a marital life. A very few older Brahmins in Nepal celebrate ritual worship at the age of 84. It's called Chaurasi Puja, one time in their life. Rarely, a Tamil Brahmin in Iyer community, South India, celebrate ritual worship on the age of 70th birthday with 9 planets worship. In terms of the historical inscriptions of Bura janko in 16th and 18th century, the scripture of 1776 AD and Pawa paintings of 1433 AD reflects the cultural chariot ritual in Newar culture and displayed the showroom of Rubin Museum of Art, New York. The goddess of longevity in Vajrayana Buddhist is called Usmis Vijaya. The painting of the 15th century depicts the Bhimaratharohana, climbed mount to the chariot of sun, along with 5 transcendental Buddhas, 10 astrological deities, and the long life deity Usmis Vijaya, victorious crown ornaments goddess, exemplify the continuing long life. The Pawa inscription portrays a detailed event on Bhimaratharam in 1512 AD. The important ritual functions includes the ritual processions takes almost 2 days. The first day worship for ancestors and preparation and decoration of chariot, palanquin, colorful flyers of god and goddess, Homa Kunda sacred fire framework, foods, gifts, dana honorarium for priest. And the second day, it takes 12 to 16 hours from early morning to late night. It includes several ritual processions, including Lasakusa welcome ceremony, sacred fire ceremony, worship for deities, lineage gods and goddess, chariot or palanquin parade in temple and shrines, Thabu Nakigu, the big plate variety of dishes offering for celebrant, Khesanga, offering sacred dish, Kalas Puja, wearing new gold rings, a battery chikegu ceremony, that means the maternal family members honor to the celebrant male family member by covering their forehead by white turban cloth as a symbol of honor or dignity, ijjata, in the community and family. The worship of gods and goddesses includes lineage or ancestors, mandala, sun, moon, Lord Vishnu, Shiva, and Shakti, Ashtamatrika, Ashtachiranjeevi, 9 planets, Panchabuddhas, living goddess Kumari, god of fire and god of garbage cleaners. Performing Homa and the sacred fire rituals by priests, performing sacred music and dance and traditional festive dinner. In terms of Bura janko procession scripture and text or manuals, the Hindu Newar priest Rajopadhyaya applied the Saiviti Shaktism that influenced by the Vedic ritual based on Vajasnevi Madhyana Dina Samhita, recension of the Shukla Yajurveda. They use the ritual procession manual and guidelines of the first Bura janko, Bhimaratharon, are handwritten in the Sanskrit and in the Nepal Bhasha, are available in their private possessions. In other publications, books are Nikagu Jya Janko, second Bura janko, published by Pandit Vishnu Rajopadhyaya in 2010, and the second book is Maharatharona Vidhi, Method of Third Bura janko by Pandit Herambananda Rajopadhyaya in 2001. Apparently, Buddhist tantric priest Vajracharya are progressive to keep alive Bura janko in Nepal and the United States are becoming popular. In Vajrayana Buddhist tradition, all its rituals are grounded in the tantric cult of Dharani goddess Usnis Vijaya and perform the invocation of the 5 Buddhas of the Yoga Tantras. Dr. Bhuvanesh Spot mentioned about the oldest ritual handbook, a palm leaf manuscript dates to 499 Nepal Samvat, 1370 CE, and the book on Bhima Deva Maharatharona, Puja Vidhi Kriya, worship procession methods, procedures manual, edited by Dharmaratna Vajracharya and Madan Sen Vajracharya, published by the Siddhi Dharma and Harsha Dharma Samrakshana Samstha in 2009, are unique and valuable. I am deeply interested to study comparative analysis between 2 books on Maharatharona of Dharmaratna Vajracharya and Madan Sen Vajracharya and Pandit Herambananda Rajopadhyaya. The example of first Bura janko in Nepal, October 4, 1997. First Bura janko Bhimaratharon literally means to mount giant sun chariot with 7 horses at the age of 77 years, 7 months, 7 days, and 7 hours. I was attended the first Bura janko of my father-in-law and mother-in-law on October 4, 1997. It was the classic, unique, and typical procession conducted by Rajopadhyaya priest in the Vedic tradition. After 21 years, I attended the another first Bura janko, second the Bhimaratharona, was held in Portland of Mrs. Hom Shrestha on October 21st, 2018, with Vajrayana Buddhist tradition performed by Prajwala Vajracharya. The mainly worship is the Usnis Vijaya, goddess of longevity, wellness, wisdom. So now the Hom Shrestha has been established, becomes the first US Bura janko celebrity. Sorry. The second Bura janko is called Sahasra Chandra Darshana or Chandraratharona. The holy seeing 1000 full moon days or Chandraratharon, or ceremony of seeing 1000 full moon days in the life of celebrants. My father-in-law and mother-in-law celebrate their Sahasra Chandra Darshana ceremony in December 2000 at the age of 80 years, 10 months. During the full moon night ceremony, both father and mother-in-law offer 150 cotton thread burning lights, Sawalak Ita Chakigu ceremony to the moon, and offer to sprinkle holy water from the conch shell to worship in the moonlight night. The example of third Bura janko. The third Bura janko is called Deva Ratharvana, commemorates the age of 88 years, 8 months, 8 days. After the procession and a parade of celebrants, palanquin of chariot, and inner city temples and shrines, the celebrant enters the home through a window of the first floor via a ramp situated near the main door, as elevated from the human soul to divine soul. It symbolizes spiritual life and a sense of sacred identity and pride of aging life. I missed the third Bura janko of my mother-in-law that celebrated in the hospital bed due to her knee surgery in 2014. But my wife and daughter managed to celebrate after the discharge from this hospital. The fourth Bura janko refers Maha Dev Ratharon or Dibbe Ratharon, celebrated on the age of 99 years, 9 months, 9 days of Nuchemaya Sake in 2018 in Lalitpur and Chalamaya Sake 2017 in Bhaktapur in Vajrayana Buddhist tradition. During such ceremonies, both celebrants were kept into big clay-made pot as a womb, and during the ceremony, the holes are broken on the pot and taken out, both celebrants as a divine rebirth. Nuchemaya is seen chanting Pragyaparamita, perfection of wisdom in the movie clip. The family priest Deepak Bajracharya faced the greatest challenge to figure out the fourth Bura janko Mahadeva Ratharan procession manual. First time in his life, he had to be obliged to perform such procession for Nuchemaya Shakya in Lalitpur. Fortunately, he got the fourth Bura janko procession manuals from Buddhist priest scholar Dharmaratna Bajracharya from Kathmandu, who had preserved such rare procession manuals from his ancestors. Similarly, the first time in Bhaktapur to perform the fourth Bura janko for Chalamaya Sake, no one had such experience, nor had the fourth Bura janko procession manuals. The family priest invited senior priest Mahila Guruju from Lalitpur to perform the fourth Bura janko procession for Chalamaya Sake in Bhaktapur 2017. Example of the rarest fifth Bura janko, Maha Dibbe Ratharon in Nepal. Na bhuto na bhavishyati, never happened in the past and nor happen in the future. The phenomenal momentum of the glorious, miraculous, and rarest celebration of the fifth Bura janko of Maheju Maharjan successfully accomplished on January 2029 as the first world historic record of aging celebration in the 21st century. Mahadibya Ratharon literally means great ascent to celestial chariot to carry by 7 sky-flyer horses, chariot to heaven with sacred music as the realm of full divine status. The fifth Bura janko ritual elevates celebrant from human to full divine or divinity status. I need to gather and collect the fifth Bura janko procession manual, including sacred texts, to create a Bura janko e-library. Additionally, I will consult with Priest Raju Bajracharya, who successfully accomplished the fifth Bura janko. The first Bura janko of American couple in Portland, Mrs. Betty Durham and Mr. Mark Malthus, hail on June 25th, 2018, at the Nritya Mandala Mahavihara, with paraded through three-wheeled bicycle in the inner city, in the Portland inner city. This Bura janko has been celebrated from the birth year of wife Betty Durham. It was the best example of gender equity, reciprocity, and dignity. Sadly, Malthus is no more with us. He wrote me, Bura janko as a sort of funeral in a positive sense of a journey of life, free from all attachment to earthly desires. Let me pray for his eternal peace as a divine soul. Om Tassat, Om Tassat, Om Tassat. First Bura janko of German couple in Nepal. Peter and Emily Hess from Germany celebrate their first Bura janko on the age of 77 years in Nepal, Bhaktapur city, and paraded in the chariot and surrounded by shrines and temples pulled by children in April 2018. They feel proud to revive a dead tradition of old age ritual in Germany and Europe. The Bura janko, an example of revitalization, spiritual and emotional wellness. The two slides present the first, second, and third Bura janko celebrations of the former US ambassador to Nepal, Dr. Carlton Kuhn. Former US Fulbright scholar to Nepal, Dr. Ellen Kuhn, illustrates how she offered a gift to her father's 80th, 84th, and 88th of birthdays in 2007, 2010, and 2015 by hosting the celebration of 3 Bura janko with American adaptations in her United States hometown. She expressed her milestone experience and said that elderly people in the West would benefit a great deal from closer community support and a celebration of old age rather than the isolation they now suffer. She further explained that every time she had conducted the Bura janko for her parents in the United States, all the guests have had tears in their eyes and told her that it was one of the most meaningful occasions of their lives and unforgettable memories. She published the first article, Flying in Winged Horses, in Nepali Times in 2007, and published second article, Nepal Style, Rites of Passage, and Bura janko and American Adaptation, in the international magazine Hinduism Today in 2010, published by Himalayan Academy, Hawaii. In terms of research on the Bura janko till now, so I did an autoethnography research work in Bura janko as an honors BA thesis, specialization on gerontology. As a gerontology student, I explored and broadened my learning horizon and shared my knowledge and mind gravitation on the cultural, spiritual, and emotional aspects of aging wellness in a seamless fashion. This study generates greater interest in the academic community and Bura janko and other rituals that honor older adults. This study includes autoethnographic, personal narratives, and reflections on 2 Bhima Ratharona Bura janko celebrations held in Nepal in 1997 and a typical Newar immigrant community in the United States in 2018. No one has previously conducted such study, so this work will be of interest to many scholars in the academic arena. This study presents perceptual and emotional experience for the Bhima Ratharona Bura janko processions, for the symbolic meanings of cultural and spiritual values of Bura janko and family bonds among celebrants of Bura janko in Nepal and the United States. There are many elders who suffer from fear of death, ignorance of the meaning of life, and loneliness or depression from social isolation because of a lack of societal, cultural, and spiritual care policies and practices. Bura janko is a means to fill this gap. It is also associated with noble karma and a pathway to reach the final goal of human life that is referred to as a moksha or a nirvana, salvation. Bura janko rediscovers to navigate the middle path of physical, material life and metaphysical, spiritual life to attain the highest spiritual realization and humanism within family and community. Dr. Alexander von Rospat conducted the first anthropological ethnographic field research on Bura janko, first, second, and third, for 3 elders with a couple and the attainment of age 77 or 7 months, 7 days, after seeing 1,000 full moon days between 81 and 84 years and 88 years old, 8 months, 8 days, in the Vajrayana Buddhist Newar families between 1998 and 2009. He published a research paper on negotiating the passage beyond the full span of life, old age rituals among the Newars in South Asia Journal in 2014. However, there is no further research done on the 4th and 5th Bura janko ceremonies in Newar communities by Western scholars. The Bura janko memoir souvenir of Kesarlal in Nepal 2004. The memoir souvenir on Kesarlal, homage on the occasion of his Bura janko, edited by Mark Turin, a renowned linguistic anthropologist and scholar friend of Kesarlal, published on the commemoration of his first Bura janko, Bhimratharon, held in 2004. This publication includes articles of 25 world-renowned scholars and researchers, including David Gellner, Jim Fisher, and Christoph Gruber. Kesarlal was the author and publisher of over 50 books in English. Turin reviewed the last book of Kesarlal on Reflection, Ageless Wonder, English poem, published in 2006. Introduction of Bura janko in Canada. I initiated to introduce the Bura janko concept through the special event, presentations with video movies for the residents with dementia at long-term care facilities in Toronto and Sudbury as an intern and volunteer in Bendel Acres, Leisure World, Rivera, and Beckwith Hospital from 2014 to 2016. And in 2018 at Pioneer Manor and Finlandia Village in Sudbury. Some residents expressed strong positive emotions, surprise, crying, huge smiles, and hugging me after the presentation. The Bura janko presentation in the international conference. I presented a research paper on Bura janko honoring old age, a medieval Newari ceremony to celebrate old age in contemporary Nepal at the Age Place Community Panel at the 10th Biennial Association for Anthropology, Gerontology, and the Life course held in Oxford Brookes University on June 8 to 9, 2017, to introduce contemporary Bura janko culture in the global academic arena. Also presented 2 poster papers in the Mind and Life 2020 Contemplative Research Conference online, November 5 to 8, 2020. The first paper presented by Hom Shrestha on honoring old age ritual in contemporary Newar culture in Nepal. Shed lighted about 5th Bura janko of Meiju Maharjan on her attainment of 108 years, 8 months, 8 days, and 8 hours, 8 minutes. Consecrated ceremony. In the second paper, I presented on dancing for care, healing for dementia, and mind loss. It is about the true story of my beloved mother-in-law with vascular dementia and my daughter, how both were interconnected for emotional wellness, mindful and compassionate care through sacred music and dance. I lead the filmmaking project and play the lead role of a demented grandfather. This film also presented at the 34th Alzheimer's Disease International Conference held in Singapore from December 10 to 12, 2020. I also presented a virtual oral presentation on honoring old age rituals in the native land of Nepal and understanding of indigenous cross-cultural aging wellness in Northern Ontario. In the Northern Ontario Health Research Conference held in October 2nd and 3rd, 2020. It highlighted the cross-cultural illumination between Bura janko and medicine wheel of First Nation in Canada. Adapting an ancient ritual to celebrate residents' aging by Mathur Institute, December 2020. I am indebted to the US-based Mathur Institute, recognized by the 2020 Promising Practice Award for the creation of fun aging celebration everywhere as Bura janko, an innovative practice, and as well to develop and implement innovative approaches that are reshaping the aging service industry in North America. It published in the Mathur Institute 2020 annual report. Mathur Institute advocates globally to adopt the modified Bura janko style senior living events in annually or monthly celebration for a group of residents on their 77th, 88th, 99th, and 108th birth years. Celebrations culturally include a parade around the community church shrines with the person riding on a decorated chariot or palanquin pulled by the horse or palanquin pulled by the grandchildren, which could be updated, which could be modified, a three-wheeled bicycle as well, followed by food, music, cultural, fashion, show, dancing, and joyful party with family, friends, and community team members. All residents who reach one of the ages of celebration could be honored in a group or with a single parade with family. Costs and planning for the event could be shared between the community and the person's family members as a festival of seniors honor day. The size and unique style of Bura janko celebrations may prove to be opportunities for media coverage as well as sponsorships to help cover the costs of food and entertainment. College and university level gerontology students can benefit and motivated them to do further research and part of their thesis and dissertations. Combining Bura janko type activities with other leisure, restorative, and recreational programs would enhance holistic aspects of senior living in terms of physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and intellectual wellness and promote active wisdom. It can be celebrated as a longevity and the joys of aging ritually, ceremonially, culturally, and spiritually everywhere at a low cost. The first US Bura janko celebrity, Uma Stapit, gave a huge smile sitting in the palanquin. The leisure activity, a participant can lower the risk of dementia. Every 3 seconds, someone diagnosed with a new case of dementia on our planet. Dementia is one of the biggest global health threats in the 21st century. The latest study of Dr. Andrew Summerlad at the University College London and his team shows that people who took part in more leisure activities around age 66, were less likely to be diagnosed with dementia over the next 8 years than those with less participation in leisure activities. However, sustained engagement in social activities, emotional wellness, and physical exercise can also be a lower risk of dementia. The series of constructive Bura janko ceremonies are source of leisure and recreational therapies. It can certainly be a lot of benefits to our seniors. It is foremost enjoyable and helps to prevent dementia in later life. I will explore the potential research for the experiment of Bura janko type leisure, restorative, and recreational activity for the older adult community and long-term care facilities for students, for residents with dementia and mild cognitive impairment as a cohort longitudinal study in Canada and elsewhere. The proposed revisioning the Bura janko culture as aging wellness everywhere in a low cost. Preserve the Bura janko procession, sacred text, sculptures, scriptures, manuals, and microfilm in Sanskrit, Pali, Nepal Bhasha are used for the procession of the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth Bura janko in our religion. Rediscover the symbolic discrepancy in the diverse procession of Bura janko between Buddhist and Hindu tradition. Create an e-library through microfilming for the sacred texts and scriptures on Bura janko. Lastly, in my conclusion, the Bura janko is a potential, mindful, and compassionate care with contemplative and contemporary approaches and policies for elder or senior care everywhere around the globe. It is only culturally preserved in the Newar religion in South Asia and practiced by both Buddhist and Hindu Newar communities in Nepal and immigrant Newar communities in the United States. Bura janko can create a joyful life marked by positive self-esteem and emotional and spiritual intellectual wellness and active wisdom at an affordable cost for everyone. So let me just point out the appeal of Dalai Lama. The planet that does not need more successful people. The planet desperately needs more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of all kinds. So this statement is quite relevant to our study. Fifth and fourth Bura janko movie clips. We greatly acknowledge before present this movie. So we greatly acknowledge Rajendra Maharjan, grandson of 109 years old Major Maharjan, for available video movies and photographs 2020, and consent to use publicly it for educational and research purpose, and journalist Prashant Mali and Prakash Timilsna for medical coverage in Nepal. So we thank both of them. Also, we acknowledge Nepal Mandala Television and Nepal Television Aki Jal program for filming the Bura janko of Mahadeva Ratharon or Dibya Ratharon in 2017 and 2018 for Nuche Maya Sake and Chala Maya Sake, and expressed our gratitude to use for non-commercial, educational, and research purpose. Just a moment, please.
In this video, Mayaju arrives at the spot of consecration, procession, and celebration of the fifth Bura janko ceremony on the January 20th of 2019 on the ground floor patio. Her family helped her to do puja, homage to various gods and goddesses with the red tika, flowers,
홈지 주 쉐리아 마니가 쉐르 모줄라 주 컴퓨터즈 월가 사운드 골라.
Just a moment, sir.
You need to share in the screen. You need to close this screen and share with other. Good. That's great.
In this video, Mayaju arrives at the spot of the consecration procession and celebration of the fifth Bura janko ceremony on the January 20th of 2019. Her family helped her to do puja, homage to various gods and goddesses with the red tika, flowers, grain, and yogurt with the offering lights and used a big wooden pot with the showering flowers, green, fruit, and the coins 3 times. The fifth Bura janko ritual celebration of Mrs. Mayaju Maharjan on her retirement after 108 years, the 8th month, 8th day, 8th hour, 8 minutes, and 8 seconds. It is called the Mahadivya Ratharohan, which literally means and envisions greater essence and celestial chariot that carried by a seven sky flyer horses with the son of heaven by Lord Indra, also known as the god of heaven, that elevates her to the rank of full divine status. She is walking slowly and sits at the small chariot chart with the marigold flowers and is offered a holy dishes and she is pulled with the chariot while lowering clothes with the showering flowers and brings and carried it in the main city road with the Kinshi Baja, which is a traditional indigenous Japanese music or Kinshi Baja. It was the rare first historical record of celebration of exemplary aging mourners in the world performing a series of spiritual and cultural-based worship processions into the divine grain. Bura janko ceremony enhanced a higher level of consciousness about fear of death and life and transcendence. She is calmly with the happiness sitting in a chariot pulled by her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren on the auspicious of the fifth Bura janko, the rare ritual called Mahadivya Ratharohan. This film demonstrates the momentum of the glorious, miraculous, and a rare celebration of the fifth Bura janko of Mayaju Maharjan successfully consecrated or commemorated on January 20th of 2019 as the first world historic record of Asian celebration in the 21st century. This is an example of the enormous potentialities of mindful and compassionate culture care and commitment.
It's a great video. Thank you, Homji.
Sorry.
Homji, it was great video. That's I say.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, that's enough. We have another. We have another one more. Or maybe the time. Yeah, is it because of the time? Yeah.
No, you can go on. We are okay. We don't see you right now, so.
We just try. Yeah.
You have
Just a moment.
order to sew? Oh.
Just a moment, sir. We are trying to.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Sorry. We can't share the video because of the copyright, maybe.
Okay.
So we're really sorry for that, sir.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much for listening.
Okay. So.
I'm not sure whether I did how it goes. I'm so sorry. I'm so nervous.
Thank you.
So so thank you so much for listening, and I'm so grateful. If there is any questions, I can take that and reply.
Yeah, unmute and ask the question. Anybody have? Yeah.
I have a question about let's say in a long-term care home, how would you implement something like this? Would you bring in a priest? Do you have a vision of a less ornate, less detailed, perhaps, celebration that might be carried on, or how would you think to implement that?
There's very good questions. So, so many, the researcher asked me this question many times. So actually, we just actually we try to integrate, the Bura janko, a kind of Bura janko, not the culturally, let me say that, we just try to, integrate their restoration, leisure, and recreational activities, and Bura janko as a part of them. It's part of integrate, but not because we are not, bring the priest and do the puja rituals. That never, possible to happen in the long-term care. But we just replicate the idea, our ideas. There, the 88 years and 99 years. So we just, the celebrate on their age to brought, the them and the chariot or on the, the three-wheeler or four-wheeler paraded in the city and their church and their alma mater, the wherever. And the group, in the either group or individual, that. And all community peoples and the neighbors and the family, friends, and participate, that, and have a, the connection, that the connection between the grandkids and the family, friends, and community. So not like, our ritual processions, but if someone, the interested, if someone is really interested to apply to and replicate, our culture ceremonies, we should welcome them to do so. Yeah, but I'm trying, the how I can do in the Christian way and some, in the First Nations way in the Canada. So I'm doing, I'm still doing the research about that. So how, that we make it culturally friendly and religious friendly. So I'm trying my best. Yeah. So it is just a start now. So we have to do a lots of work, lots of research, that still needed. So it's just the beginning now.
Yes. So might you consider sort of different levels of doing it, that there might be different kinds of models,
Yeah.
that some of them might strictly be a celebration and a parade, and other ones might be more detailed and involve more
Yeah.
religious. Yes, I see. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a great time of you. It's really interesting questions. Yeah.
Yes. This is
Thank you. Thanks so much. I really appreciate your talk, and
Thank you so much, ma'am.
I like your moniker, Fond Aging Celebrations Everywhere. I think that's really beautiful. I have a question. I wanted to know a little bit about your the American adaptions that were mentioned. What are some of the adaptions that were made that maybe the lady in Kathmandu had made, or that you've heard about that are specific for America?
Well, the Fulbright scholar Ellen Kuhn, she initiated the Bura janko for her father from her gift, the first, second, third Bura janko, and she performed, the whatever, that we did, like, we for example, we clean the leg, that we worship the leg, that we go down the forehead, the legs, and we wash, and we offer some wines and some grains, and taking a jal, the mixed of milk and water, and tika also. Yeah, tika also. But and also she's doing, the some speech, during the ceremony, and invite all the guests, friends, and families. The daily life. And she wrote me, about after to me, in 2017, when she did a third Bura janko of her father, that her father is 90 at that time, 90 years old. Yeah, 90 years old, heart patients, and diabetes, but because of the Bura janko ceremony, so he is so happy, the cheerful and the happiness, and always, the active, the keeping him busy to focus, her humanism, the kind of his own work, own research, and that he died, the age of 93. So he was the former ambassador to Nepal, U.S. ambassador to Nepal in 1984, and 1983 to 84, 1982 to 85, 86. And his wife also ambassador to Bangladesh at that time. So because of the Bura janko, the celebrations, so they really, the blessed to have, the happiness, peace, and some kind of, the inner, the eternal energy, feeling the eternal energy, like as the meditations they feel, and they, but unfortunately, so he passed away in 2018. I was planning to visit him, but his death was so peaceful and deep sleep. So it was happened because of the first, second, and third Bura janko celebrations. So it's a great impact for him. And her daughter was so happy, that she feel proud, that she offered a real gift as a daughter. And his brother is also so positive and so motivated. So, and brother and sister both together, they're caring the father and mother. It was really, the blessed everyone. It was really inspirational for everyone.
Thank you.
So there is something, there is something, the inside the spirituality and
Thank you
some
so
kind
much.
of.
May I just, before I hand over to Robin, can you tell me the name of that poet that you mentioned in your speak again? It was like Kesor La or something?
Kesar Lal, yeah.
Is that it? L-A-W?
Kesar Lal.
I will put in the chat box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. I'm so pleased.
Unmute.
Jojalpa.
Jojalpa.
First of all, I'd like
Namaste.
First of all, I'd like to thank our friend Hom Shrestha for a bright presentation. A lot of information. Really. The presentation was very informative and useful, which threw enough light on Bura Budhi janko. And I have a question to you about 5,000 all year tradition you mentioned in the presentation. So you mentioned about Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Vasudev's birthday anniversary. So if it is it is confined only in the Nevar Buddhist Hindu tradition, or it is somewhere found in India also, Bura Budhi janko? This is my question. And before, after the question, I have to say one thing. Here in United States, the Bura Budhi janko, talking about the Bura Budhi janko, you somehow mentioned Uma Sthapit is the first Bura Budhi janko. I think that is not true.
That's not true, yeah. That's the
there was an American couple, first of all, Mark, like Guruji told, and after Mark and Betty, there was Pramod's mom, Padma Lakshmi Karanjit. She first among the Nepalese people whose Bura Budhi janko was done. She must be the first, not Uma Sthapit. So
yeah,
that is just adding.
Absolutely, yeah, you are right. But you know the in terms of the limelight, she's the first the celebrity and who is publicized, publicized by Mathur Institute. So because of that, she's also recognized, being the Bura Janko celebrant. So that's the we just we just recognized her as just recognize her as honor and respect. That's only the things not more than that. We know that that she's not the
Okay.
first time. Yeah, but she she came into the limelight and publicized, and that that I will brought her in the international the arena. So that's why we just honor her, respect her as a celebrity. And in terms of
What about my question about
5,000, yeah, in terms of you are talking about this 5,000-year-old traditions. Actually, I'm looking for the evidence for almost 3 years. I'm trying to figure out where is the reference, where is the evidence, so I'm still studying the Indian world history as well. But my family priest, so he said me that he's now the expired, right? He's passed away now, but he told me that the Bura Janko, the starting the during the Dwapara Yuga, and this celebrations initiated by the Lord Krishna for his father Vasudeva on the the 88th year's birthday. So it is believed that the starting from there from that time. But I'm also looking for the other evidence in the Buddhist uh, scriptures and sculptures, but I could not find it. But the Dr. Hom Shrestha that told me that is a 1379. That he said that was the last that was the latest literature about the Bura Janko. But before that, I don't know whether there is or there is not. But I'm really interested to get this information. So I'm still the figure out. I'm still the find out the evidence of 5,000. So whether it's correct or not, so it's still under process.
okay.
Anybody has any question?
Thank
But I have one question to ask, just a very quick one. Homji.
Sure, sir.
Okay, so did you find any etymological meaning of the word janko? Where does janko come from? Most of the rituals in Newa tradition, it has a link with the Sanskrit word. But the janko, how does it related with any Sanskrit word if you find in your research or not yet? Why it is called janko, J-A-N-K?
No, I'm also looking for that. Yeah, you are right. I'm also looking for Sanskrit and the Nepal Bhasha as well. So, but that I'm not the success. But you are right. The Bura Janko is not the appropriate. Maybe we say the just maybe the
just the Mahotsav?
what senior, yeah, senior. Maybe the the one. It's a just a Nagarik, something like says just a Nagarik.
That's a Nepali.
Yeah, Nepali, yeah.
Typical,
So
yeah.
how we say it?
Okay.
Just
Okay, so the children, when a boy is turned to 6 months, and then girl is for the 5 months, so also called the macha janko. Macha is a child. So that is coincide with the annaprasana. So annaprasana is the some sort of giving the solid food rather than just the liquid food. So if which is appropriate to say janko is a celebration of giving the solid food for the child who cannot digest before that janko, and then somehow clinically the throat or the with the swallowing pipe, it becomes more mature to swallow the solid food. So which is appropriate for the Bura janko and then Buri janko. I mean, I'm trying to figure out where this word janko come from so that I can elaborate a little more, but I still cannot find yet. So
me too.
I wrote the 3 articles regarding Uma and also Chandra Mali and Padma Lakshmi. All 3 of them coincide in a. So I kind of put into a flyer to distribute that everybody know what is going on. So I was trying to figure out Janko war, but I couldn't find yet. So if you find it in the future, please let me know so that I can
Sure. I'm continuing to the search. I'm still continuing the search Janko and how the Janko the what is called the it's maybe it's the came from the Harappan the civilization, or is connected where and how. So that I'm still trying to the search.
So there's another evidence. Most of the rituals what we are following right now in our tradition from the Buddhist point of view, it is also transferred from the Borua family of Bangladesh, Borua family. So the Charya dance, what we are doing right now, Charya song, what we are doing right now, they also do the same kind of a Charya dance and ritual, but it has been kind of discontinued in many years. But we believe that the Charya came from Borwa tradition of not Bangladesh, but the West Bengal. So if we look at this tradition also in the Borwa family of Bengal area, probably there might be some kind of evidence that we can find it. Maybe they are also doing it. But now these days we don't see any news or any kind of a message from that, because the Borwa people are very close to the Newa tradition at the time. But these days they disappeared. Now we are still continuing. That's what. So one thing I want to make a comment on this, because the tradition of janko for the senior age 77, 88, and 84 and 99. It is the tradition of becoming the spiritual person. So we all are the Lokik and Alokik. So those are the 2 words. So we are all Lokik. When the ritual happens, it becomes Alokik. So much a little bit higher than the human beings. So that's why it's been, to tell everybody that, because once the janko ceremony is performed and they are no longer in a Lokik area. So they become a little bit higher so the higher, until they survive, until they leave. So this ceremony is taking him into. So the final one is the Usnisa, what is called?
Usnisa Bizaya.
Usnisa Bizaya. So Usnisa Bizaya is the one of the last one. So all the steps in the Chaitya, there should be 13 steps in the Chaitya at the above the pinnacles. So right. So those are also the Usnisa, Usnisa Bizaya. So the very top one is the highest one. So until now, no one has put into all the way top, but some people have already reached to the 5 steps. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. So that's why the Janko ceremony is the one of the achievement for becoming the Buddha, or becoming the Arhata, or becoming the any kind of a spiritual person. So that's what I understood when I studied a lot of texts. This is just my comment, so nothing to worry.
No, absolutely, yeah. Your point is valid, and but we need to do the further extensive research, rigorous research. So that's why the Bura janko I found is so complex, so broad. The topics right now. So when I go, the deep, it's so broad, it's like, the Bhavasagar, something like that.
Right.
So I found that, and But the problem is, the very few, very little, the researcher and scholars, the giving the attentions, that's the problem. The first research that has been done by Alexander von Ruspert, and after that, nobody did any scholarly level research. That's the problems.
We will create from the temple people there. Let's go and do some research.
So that so that I appeal, why not, we motivate or invite our own, the children, our, our groom, the children's new generations to focus in this area, for the research and connect to the, some universities. So we can find, but we need to, invest a lots of time, lots of energy that we really need, that. Otherwise, it's very difficult, that. And yeah, the Bura janko, it's still, it's not attentive for our new generations. Even we are, the less, the concern and the less interest and less curiosity. So how, that we promote, how we conserve, how we preserve these traditions, that's the great challenge. So I'm also trying to pursue, the PhD in Bura janko. I applied for the PhD in Toronto for Bura janko PhD, but it's still, there is so competition, so tough competition, so challenging, that. And nobody, the teach and enlighten about the Bura janko.
Excuse me, sir. On that note, couldn't it be possible for you yourself to be sort of the grand master of a junko, and perform a junko? I mean, for America or for Canada,
It's a great idea.
They're busy.
It's a great idea.
I'm sure you'd be empowered with your hands to do that. And then it would be an offering, so you could sort of a facility who would want to offer such an experience could then honor you by having you come,
Yeah, that's a good idea, great idea. It's really appreciated.
Well, and
Thank you.
could I just
Thank you
ask
so
a
much.
quick question, since I have your attention, because when you were talking about the 99 year and the chanting of the Prajna Paramita.
Prajna Paramita. Yeah.
So is it I'm assuming it's the long form when it's being chanted, the 250,000. I don't know, but
No.
Is it, or is it the short, or how many?
Maybe.
And then I want to know which form is being chanted, and then I want to know in a Vedic tradition of that, what is being chanted.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't show the video today. If you really like, maybe I can send you the video. Just in the YouTube video, just about she's chanting. Actually 1 minute maybe. Just the example line. But she told the reporter, journalist, that because she practiced the Prajna Paramita since her childhood. And without, the chanting, she don't start her, the morning daily life, that.
Okay.
So
that
is the,
to her that she was
chanting.
Yeah. I got it.
Chanting,
thank you for clarifying, because I didn't know. Okay.
But she's starting, the chanting since her childhood, maybe the 4 or 5 years, and she continued. Right. She never interrupted, she never, the break, that she continued as a part of daily life, part of puja, like, what we offer to puja. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Thank you very
Ninja,
much.
So,
you want to say something?
yeah, please, sir.
Ninja, unmute yourself.
Hi. I wanted to ask about the janko word. If it macha janko as the baby coming into the world, I like that idea that you were saying, Daya.
Yeah.
It's really the beginning of life, and then end of life is you're still continuing, but it's this thread, almost like a thread going through, right? Um, it could be that. I mean, something related to thread. Johnny.
Oh, that might be possible. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Expansion of
shooting.
lifespan,
Yes, and the lifespan as a thread.
expansion of lifespan,
Continuity
yeah.
of
Or life
lifespan.
course, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, can be. I think that is janko. I mean, for me, it's like some things to related to the birth and also you are moving forward to the death. So
Right.
when the Robert Turman say that when you go to about the 50 over, then your life is already past right now. So that means you cannot double the life. That means you don't have the real life.
Right.
So 77 is like the almost you are 1/3 of your life is it been passed. So that's why janko is like okay, you are reaching to that point. So now you have to be whatever you need to be relaxed, you need to be liberate, you need to be honor. It keeping the palanquins, it's keeping the honor, it's keeping the throne, honor and respect that is happening because you are moving forward with that life. So
Yeah, and I like the idea of continuity because,
not
here, the big thing to do is celebrate a birthday. Like your 90th birthday would be a big thing, or your 80th birthday, or then there's 64 is a big birthday, but that's kind of like you pass it and then that's you've hit that landmark. But I like the idea of the janko being more of a continuity, and even the idea of the bimarata and the family pulling you forward is just really symbolic of continuity in moving forward. It's diachronic, going through time rather than fixed time spots.
that's also there's some people in a pattern area people really carry. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I'm going to stop recording and we can be casuals and this have a nice conversation. So and I'll